Hey, it's the P3 podcast. We're going to be coming at you with a show this fine, good evening. It's going to be a lot of AEW talk. Apparently, Beef the Legend was just watching some Impact before we started recording this. So, as usual, terrible decisions are made all around. I'm Alec Ransom, and I have the worst gas I've ever had. Beef the Legend's also here. Poot the Bard is here. We are Sans Tiger Bomb Tom. We're back to the original three. The band is back together. The threesome is in the bed. Oh, God. All right, anyway, stick around. Show's coming.
The threesome is in the bed.
I don't feel comfortable with this.
You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver. What the hell is that? Podcast.
No! Oh, you dummies and dumbettes. This is the Pittsburgh Piledriver podcast. We will berate you for being stupid. We will demand your $49.99s, but we can promise you this: we will never make a racist T-shirt about you or any one of our crew. So there's that. I mean, we have that going for us, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think right? That's a good.
Telling you.
It's a pretty low bar, but you know what? That's what we strive for.
Well,
back to the drawing board with my New Japan T-shirt. Son of a bitch.
Right, that guy, you cunts. Oh, squint it up there, noob. Oh, wait.
Oh, boy.
Hey, this is, we got Alec Ransom here. I'm salty. I'm gassy. I don't know why, but I have been just blowing the dry ones out of my butthole all day long. So, super gross there. Welcome. You're welcome, everybody. Beef the Legend is also here. Speaking of disappointments, you were watching Impact before we started recording this. What are you doing with your life?
Yep. Well, you know, it's the premiere episode, so I'm like, hey, maybe I'll give it a shot.
What do you mean premiere episode? It's been on for years.
Well, it's the premiere on Access TV.
Well, pretty soon it'll be on the Barbie network, so don't worry about it. They can premiere there.
I mean, it was already on Pop TV or whatever, like the TV Guide channel. So you can't get much worse than that.
Well, all right. Well, fair enough. But so yeah, that we got Beefy here. Tom, Tiger Bomb Tom, one of our glorious sponsors, is Nah, he's out uppercutting people. Someone in his neighborhood got a little too lippy with him, so he's out there throwing the uppercuts. He was probably going to get arrested, but who knows? He'll uppercut his way out of the station.
Let's send him our energy. Tiger.
Uppercut.
There we go. Tom sending you all the uppercut power.
Nah, I hope he doesn't get any. He needs to get arrested.
No.
The boy needs to learn his place. Learn his place. I say you're the worst. The worst. Tom is stealing Poot's gimmick, stealing my gimmick. It's like gimmick stealing Inception. It's the worst. Speaking of Poot, we have with us this evening, for your listening pleasure, the soothing sound in your ear, the tongue that caresses your inner earlobe. He is the reigning, defending, undisputed, sultry voice, silver tongue champion of the world.
Baby.
Oh, there it was.
There it was.
Goodness.
That was the.
All right, I gotta go. I need to go.
I was thinking about something. I need to go clean up after that. Jeez.
Oh well,
you couldn't even say it. That's how bad it was.
I know,
right?
I only get one of those a day, so feel blessed that I spent it on you.
Ooh, have mercy.
Yes.
Hey, you know what? The last time we did one of these stupid shows, you idiots had me thank the sponsors, and that was more of a train wreck than an Impact taping. So how about somebody else do it this time? Because I can't do it. I'm terrible.
Pootsky, you want this one?
Thank sponsors, sure. I would like to thank Mr. Tiger Uppercut Bomb Tom, otherwise known as Casual Gaming Dad, over on Facebook, the YouTubes, the Twitch Spaces, and all the other great places to see Tom play some games. I watched his run of Friday the 13th, and he clocked in at a lean like 9 minutes and change on that run.
Are you trying to make Ransom more upset right now?
That's it. I'm out.
All right. Oh, good. Finally. Beef, now we're really going old school. All right. Anyway,
terrible school.
back to the first No, it was one of those things where I kind of had the same reaction I imagine Ransom had, where I looked and I went, like, because it's like, it just like other speed runs when you watch them, you watch someone be really, really fucking good at the game, right? That was like watching someone pull the curtain back on the Wizard of Oz. Like,
yeah, I got so mad I threw my neighbor's cat.
Whoa,
man, that is like that. That's probably the most backhanded compliment we've had in this show, Poot.
What?
Speaking of Tom's ability, not saying that he's good enough to beat the game in 9 minutes, but saying that he has.
If you don't do it that way, you can't beat the game in 9 minutes. You can't. Like, that's the thing, is that's why he's a good speedrunner, is because he has optimized that game. He has optimized it to the point he went, okay, I found a flaw. You know what I mean? It's kind of like when you find a loophole, you go, hey, there's no rules against it, and it's there. You know what I mean? So he
That's
just
fair.
worked out the mechanics. It was impressive.
Maybe,
anyway, so
maybe we should move on, since this isn't the Pittsburgh Nintendo Driver podcast.
Oh, it totally
Let's
is.
stop
You shut your
S&P's
whore
D
mouth.
And freaking move on there, Chubster.
All right, well,
brother.
listen, I'll come over there, but I'd come over there and take you down, but I'd be worried you throw those Sweet Chins music at me. So,
Let's face it, you're not going anywhere without falling asleep or having to take a breather first.
what, me?
You heard me.
Oh.
Or a 12-hour drive.
Yeah,
Yeah. You old man. Don't we have another sponsor to thank before we start berating each other?
Apparently we don't.
Yes.
Keep going.
We
Anyway,
do.
Beef, go ahead.
Okay, well, you're...
Take
okay.
this, Beef.
We certainly want to thank Sean Tischler and his
What's
work
his
with
girlfriend on
these.
there?
With what?
What?
Well, okay. So we want to thank Sean and everything he's done for getting our name out there with the public, and
Public?
yeah, I mean it's right. It's showing some fruit. We had some all-time high viewers 2 weeks ago, and last week's show is pretty hot as well. So hey, we appreciate all yous listen and continue to do so, and we wouldn't be able to say that without Sean. So thanks so much for all you do with us, Sean, and definitely keep working with IWC, which is a wonderful program. And again, I will throw this out there till I'm blue in the face. IWC winner take all this Saturday at the Elizabethtown, I believe it's called Court Time Arena. You can get tickets at the door. You can buy them online at IWC.
Wow.
Wrestling. Right? It's gonna be a tough night for me.
Whoops.
At IWCWrestling.com. There's a lot of really great talent on the show. A lot of guys that are coming over from Impact. So it's kind of like a cross-branded show. If nothing else, man, get out there and show your love for the champ as he defends against Mr. Nocerus.
Well, Mr. Nocerus. So
Stop interrupting people.
Listen, okay?
Wow.
Jackson Argos, era of Argos. That's all I wanted to say.
Hashtag era of Argos.
Champ of
Yes, sir.
champs over there.
All right, there's more S and the D's going on. Holy crap.
Gah.
Hey, wasn't there an AEW show in Pittsburgh last week?
Oh, shit. Yeah, there was.
Oh, how'd that go?
Oh, man, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. The crowd was hot the whole night, and that crowd has been like roundly complimented as being one of the best crowds of the year for AEW, for WWE, for NXT, for period, for being hot the whole night. And Cody showed us some love after the show, being out there and dicking around for like 15-20 minutes, just being Cody in the box. And I
Uh-oh.
said elsewhere.
Cut out real bad.
He went
Oh,
full
good.
unplugged from the Matrix mode there.
You sure
Oh,
did.
neat.
Wow.
But no, Cody and the Bucks gave us some
Squiddies.
love after the show, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah, it was it felt the cool thing about that show. First of all, the arena was like there wasn't a bad seat in that damn place. The only thing I would have changed is that we had a boom cam in front of us, and it kind of got in the way a little bit, but it wasn't that bad. But there wasn't a bad seat in that damn place. And the cool thing was there was one promo, and it was Cody with the Inner Circle, and it was entertaining, but that was it. Like, I mean, you know, the library, Peter Avalon came out, and he cut a little standard heel promo thing, but it felt like the best house show you've ever been at in your life. And I mean that as a compliment.
In a good way.
Because
whoa. Hey, hang on.
What?
Hold the front door here for a second. You're telling me that somebody did live TV, a live wrestling TV show without 50% plus promos? I didn't think that's how you did live TV. I thought you had to have mostly promos and just a little bit of wrestling. I don't think AEW is doing it right.
Well, you know, I mean, they're really thinking outside the box on, you know, giving people wrestling at a wrestling show. I mean, give them credit.
That's ridiculous. That's insane.
I'll tell you.
They're still new.
I will tell you what, man. Fucking tag team wrestling is back in a big way. Between the awesome matches that NXT puts on, and then, I mean, pretty much the entire card, with the exception of the main event, and I think Omega and Janela, was all tag team matches. And they were all great. Every last one of them, there was something I could pick out and say, wow, that was fantastic. And I mean, tag team wrestling is a specialty, you know, like hardcore wrestling, or you know, like British strong style, or technical wrestling. Like you either got it or you don't. And I think AEW and NXT both have the personnel that got it, and they're going to work it because, man, it looked good.
Here's the thing with tag team wrestling, and I don't understand why Vince is so anti-tag team wrestling. In a one-on-one wrestling match, if you're going to go more than 10 minutes, a lot of the time it's not nonstop action. You'll have, you know, periods of where the wrestlers can take a breather. You'll have rest holds. You'll have something where the guys can kind of take a break, catch their breath, and understandably so, because if you're going more than 10 minutes full steam, you're going to get tired. But the thing I don't understand why Vince doesn't like tag team wrestling is you don't have to have those lulls. You tag out, and that guy can take a breather. He can take a 2, 3, 4, 5 minute rest, and you can still have constant action the whole time. I mean, it's good for wrestling fans because we get a match chock full of action the whole time. You don't have those lulls where wrestlers are taking a break, taking a breather, taking a rest hold. You know what I mean? I just don't understand why Vince is so anti-tag team wrestling. It's so entertaining.
Speaking of and branching off, you talk about rest holds and everything. Like when you go to a WWE event, and I can speak from experience here, you know when the camera's off. Like, you know when they're a commercial because some bullshit's going down, or there's a fucking 3-minute sleeper hold, or some goofy crap's happening. At AEW, we had no idea where the commercial breaks was. Like, that's how seamless everything played out. So, like, to me, that entire show could have been airing without stop, and I would have no clue because there was no rest holds, there was no, like, stupid bullshit. It was all just continuous action.
And that's
pretty impressive.
That is exactly why I said it felt like a house show. It felt like a huge indie promotion, like in a good way, because like you said, there were, aside from that boom coming down in front of me, seriously, there were a bunch of times where I went, oh yeah, we're on TV. Like we're at a live show. It's being aired on TV. You know what I mean? And I think that in of itself is good, because I think AEW has found a balance between making the show for the audience there and making the show for the audience that is watching at home.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I haven't been to an AEW show, but from what I got from you guys, and there's a guy that I work with who is a big wrestling fan. He wears a different wrestling shirt every Friday. You know, he's one of those guys that is super into it. You know, he's gone to every WWE show that's come to Pittsburgh, whether it's a Raw, a SmackDown, a house show. He's always at them. So he's hardcore, and he's not one of those, like constantly poo-pooing on WWE like we are. But he even said to me, because I asked him about it, I said, 3 of my buddies went, they said it was great. And he said it was by far so much better than any WWE live show he's been to. whether it's a house show or a Raw or a SmackDown. He said this was so much better than the WWE TV shows that come to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, dude, it was. I already am like, I can't wait till they come back. Like, I'm there.
Oh, 100%.
And I'm gonna try.
That's why. Go ahead, Poot.
I was gonna say I'm gonna try and get seats a little more centered, right where we were, like.
Right.
Because,
perfect seats, man.
Like they were great. Yeah, we weren't on TV. Yeah, we weren't any of that stuff, but who cares? Like we had immaculate seats. I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, you couldn't.
I wouldn't have mind being ringside because I think the next time they come, ringside seats are going to be a lot more expensive than they were this time.
Probably. Depending. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But like it would be cool to be down there in the thick of things and like high five people and really get up close and personal. But man, where we were, it felt like a box. It felt like we were in a box. It was super cool.
Yeah, man. And like you got like the people there, they weren't marks, which was nice. Like they were all pretty smart. It was a pretty smart crowd. And for like a smart crowd to be appreciative for like 2.5, 3 hours, because I mean, even at the end of the dark match, the AEW dark with Evans versus Havoc versus Allen. Like,
that was great.
Like, the crowd was super into that match too. So like, I mean,
is that taped at the end?
Yes.
Well, they do AEW Dark, which is like their YouTube show, which is great and something awesome that I 100% wish WWE did. But basically, it's dark matches. But AEW tapes them for a show called AEW Dark. They do. Okay. They did 2 before and then 1 after. So like you weren't sitting there for like another full fucking taping after the show. They kind of broke it up nicely. So
nice.
But to keep a crowd of smart marks that into the show the whole damn time was unreal to me.
Yeah, it sounds like from everything that I've heard, both from you guys, from the guy that I work with, a lot of the stuff that I've read online, they're really nailing their TV tapings. For the people who are watching on TV and for the people who are there in the audience, it seems to be pretty much hitting the mark.
But let's not belabor the point. NXT brought the fucking heat last week too.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Oh.
NXT stepped up real hard. Rhea versus EST was very good.
It was.
The triple threat match with Roddy and Dijakovic and Keith Lee, which by the way, I could watch Dijakovic and Keith Lee just wrestle for eternity.
They are the definition of fight forever.
And you want to do 50-50 booking, that's fine. I don't care. Let them go, man, because I'm telling you what. I look at Dominic Dijakovic, and I see a guy that Vince McMahon has to have his sights on. He's a big dude. He's pretty ripped. He has great style. He's quick. He's impactful. Dude is something else. I don't think Vince will get behind the name Dijakovic. I think he'll get a rename when he goes to the main show. Well, to Raw or SmackDown.
So dumb.
It is. Because you set up a brand, and we're going to talk about branding here a little bit later on.
Are we ever?
But you set up a brand for yourself, like Keith Lee, for example. Keith Lee kept his name from the Indies. CM Punk's another one, kept his name from the Indies. Daniel Bryan, close enough. These guys, Samoa Joe, have these careers, and AJ Styles, I'm sorry, but these guys have these careers that have like 15, 20 years behind them, and it's so dumb not to capitalize on them and say, hey, we are understanding that there was a past here, and we are going to reference that past. That's fine, man. Like, do it, because you got to capitalize on that stuff. So that's why I think guys getting name changes. Yeah. So guys getting name changes that come up from AEW or from NXT. Oh, guys that come up from NXT that get name changes. It's just it's mind-boggling to me, because you're taking an established brand and you're ruining it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For me, it's even more dumb to do that when you have a guy who's has a name on the Indies. They come to NXT. They have that same name.
And then they go from
NXT, right under your own umbrella. and then they go from NXT to Raw or SmackDown, and they have different names. How stupid is that?
First of all, not only is it insulting to the fans in their intelligence, but it's also the fact that it shows no cohesion in branding, like at all. Zero. And it shows where the powers that be, i.e. Vince McMahon, where what he really thinks of NXT and what he really thinks of those people. And I think it was a hell of a power play to get Balor back down there.
I think it's twofold. I think it's that, exactly what you said, Poot. I think it's that, but I also think it's that whole Vince McMahon and WWE like their money. And when somebody makes them money, they don't want that money going somewhere else. So if they take a name, like if you come up through the indies using your real name, for instance, or using, let's not even say that, you come up through the indies using pole dancer McCoy. If you get famous on the indies with that name,
don't fucking tell them my name. Come on.
Sorry, blown spot. Kayfabe break. You come up to NXT and you use that name, and then you go to the main roster. I have a feeling that if Vince sees something, if he sees potential, like, hey, you know what, we can really make a lot of money off of this person. He wants to give them his name, his own name. That way he can trademark it. And if they become super big and super famous, they can't take that name somewhere else. I mean, look at all the different names that Vince McMahon has trademarked over the years so that people, whenever they leave WWE, they can't go somewhere else and use that same name. Road Dogg Jesse Games, Badass Billy Gunn. When they went to Impact, they couldn't be those characters.
No, they were the Voodoo Kin Mafia.
Cody Rhodes. He trademarked the name Cody Rhodes. So Cody can't even use Cody Rhodes. He has to use Cody with Brandy Rhodes. So I have a feeling that that's another thing where Vince doesn't want them to use that name because he wants to give them his branded name so that he can trademark it.
He also wants to keep the Rhodes legacy with WWE.
Yep. And that's why guys like Moxley are super smart, where they come in and WWE says, hey, we're going to give you a brand new name. Hey, cool, man. That's great. That's my WWE identity. That's my, my main event name, and that way, whenever I leave, I still have and Bryan Danielson, same thing. If Daniel Bryan ever leaves WWE, he'll be able to call himself Bryan Danielson, and he'll be able to say, hey, you know what? Yeah, Daniel Bryan was a great character, but guess what? I busted my ass for 15, 20 years in the Indies as Bryan Danielson, and here's all my, huge repertoire of everything from.
Here's my resume as Bryan Danielson.
Right. But, exactly. Well, and the other thing is too. Then you have some guys who were objectively smart, or they had enough stroke that they kept their name, like, i.e. Chris Jericho.
CM
Punk. Yeah. Yep. Like, now, was it because they trademarked their name beforehand?
I would have to say yes, because there's no way that Vince McMahon is going to buy or like have somebody like Chris Jericho come in, make that huge of a name for himself in WWE, and then leave as Chris Jericho. I mean, that's not his real name. He has to have that trademark himself, or else Vince definitely would have.
Now, wait, hold on, really quick. I want to keep on this thread, so hold that in your thought. Gonna give you a quick review of Raw from this week, and then we're going back to our conversation. Ready? Here it is.
That seems to be the consensus. Oh, yeah, that seems to be the consensus.
Yeah, anyway, okay, so back to, but, like, I mean, there are some people that, like, because they came up in WWE, like, they're, like, a homegrown product, as they say. They get known by that name, and then when they go on the indies and they have to either make up a name for themselves, or they have to, like, go by their normal name or whatever, or when they say, like, so-and-so formerly known as, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And then they have a hard time kind of getting off the ground, on the indies, because it's like they're so known as that one guy that how do they reinvent themselves? And they usually have to go to an extreme. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
Fun
Yeah, I mean,
fact, by the way, speaking of guys coming up holding their names and everything, did you know that, and this is, speculation, rumor, but allegedly the spot for CM Punk initially was on the Spirit Squad?
Yes, I did know that.
I think I heard that somewhere, but I can't remember where or if that's true. If I heard it.
He said, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to kind of bide my time, and if you guys want to bring me up later, do that. But I'm not doing this. Dude. I mean, not that it took a fucking wrestling savant to say, oh, man, the Spirit Squad's a bad idea. But, I mean, to take a gamble on yourself like that whenever you're being – I mean, you look at a guy like Nick Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler, who has really overcome that. Good for him. But, I mean, it takes a lot of character and a lot of chutzpah to be able to say, hey, you know what? That's not the right fit for me. I'll wait.
Yeah. I mean, all those Spirit Squad guys, except for Dolph Ziggler, are freaking aware.
Hey, what happened to Lars Sullivan?
Who?
It just popped into my head. What happened to Lars Sullivan?
It's a good point. He's hurt.
I don't know why that just popped into my head, but it just did. I was just like, huh. Wasn't that guy a thing?
He came back and was getting a big push and was on both shows forever. And then they were like, oh, okay, we're going to, put him on one show. And then I'm pretty sure he got hurt. I could be wrong. They could just not be using him because of his bevy of bad decisions, but I think he's hurt.
Wasn't there some racial epithets thrown by old Sullivan?
Oh, look at this segue.
That was years and years ago with Lars Sullivan when he was on bodybuilding.net. And it doesn't make it right, but he came out and he went, yeah, I was a shithead. I was that meathead who was in the gym. I was just looking to shoot my mouth off, and it was online. It was during the time, and that doesn't make it right. But, I mean, think about it. In the early days of Xbox Live, would you want, there are so many people out there that they're like, oh, God, if anyone heard what I said on Xbox Live to people, oh, no. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's fair.
And here's the thing, too, and I can respect Lars Sullivan if he no longer says those things or believes those things, because everybody has either said or done something in their life that they look back on and go, oh, that was a very bad decision. That
I'm a fucking idiot.
That was super terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have respect for people who can come out and say, especially if they can admit to their mistakes and go, yeah, you know what? I said these very bad things, and, I was absolutely wrong to say them, and that's not who I am today. I was an idiot back then. I was, whatever the case may be, young, stupid, who cares, whatever. But if you can admit to your mistakes and you can right that wrong by saying that you apologize and it was wrong and you move on from it, I have a great deal of respect for those kind of people.
Oh, yeah.
I think
because nobody's perfect and everybody makes mistakes. So if you can admit to that mistake, you jump up a few pegs in my book.
I think it's more accepted. No, so it's I'm not naturalizing it. I'm not saying it's ever okay. I think it's more understandable if you're like a nobody and you make some stupid comments and they come back to haunt you, versus what happened with Hulk Hogan, where you were like fucking, the guy. Like, I don't care who you are.
Yell at him for eating right now.
Whenever you thought of professional wrestling, sorry to get Laffy Taffy. Whenever you thought of professional wrestling, you thought of Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, probably The Rock, probably Ric Flair. So this dude, knew that he was in a public eye, so much so that he had a fucking reality series. For him to be so
cavalier
about it, yeah, exactly. All of those words, it's just befuddling to me, because you got to know, if you are a superstar of any caliber in anything, eyes and ears are on you 110% all of the time.
Oh yeah.
So I said, I'm not naturalizing it. I don't want to make it seem like it's ever okay, but it's more understandable whenever you're a guy, just a regular, Joe. You make some offhand comments at one point to your buddies or whatever, and then it gets blown up whenever you get big. versus being a big star and then doing something stupid like that. That's just my opinion.
When something's dredged up from the past, that's one of those things where oftentimes I roll my eyes. It's like, 5 to 10 years ago, this guy said this racially charged thing. Like, okay, fine. He shouldn't have said it, but is that who he is now? When's the last time he said something like that? Is that who that guy still is today? So that's when I roll my eyes a little bit when it's like, in the past, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, fine. Yeah, shame on him, but move on, But like you said, Beef, with Hulk Hogan, with as long as he's been in the spotlight and as old as he is, and I get it, like age really isn't, I guess you could say age is no excuse, but
well, you see it opposite. People talk about the ignorance of youth, but I'll tell you what, if you live in the area that I live in, a lot of it is the ignorance of old age.
Well, that could be true as well.
But anyway, talking about things that we shouldn't say or things that are inappropriate or things that are this, boy howdy, is this a shit show. Beef, you want to give us the rundown?
I've never heard of this guy. I've never heard of this guy before this incident happened.
Okay.
Let me just tell you that.
So this is ACH. That's what he was known as on the Indies. And on NXT, he was known as Jordan Myles. And he is an African-American who has a gimmick as a guy who smiles a lot. Okay. It's a little on the nose, but okay.
Well, it's more because he's a big fan, apparently a big fan of anime. And it's the whole, slightly kawaii, smiles, peace sign thing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Apparently that's why.
That makes a lot more sense to me than, somebody in the back saying, go out there and give him the big pearly whites. But
also we're going to put a picture of the problem up right now. That's the problem. And it's gone. So,
he was the winner of the inaugural NXT Breakout Tournament that had guys like Bronson Reed,
DJZ,
and DJZ.
Oh, sorry, Joaquin Wilde.
Joaquin Wilde. What's the name of the dude with the top? That's Bronson Reed, right? The guy who's actually been getting TV time.
What was his name? Past week. What was his name on the Indies? Because it was
Trevor Lee.
Trevor Lee.
Right.
Lee. Man, the the top hat and all that shit. Don't give him that gimmick. I mean, I'm sorry. It'll probably grow on me, but dude, just let him go out there and be basically Bruiser Brody 2.0.
Stop mudholes, right?
Seriously.
So anyway, Jordan Myles goes out, wins this tournament. Awesome. Has a shot against Adam Cole. Puts on a great match. Doesn't win, obviously. And then after the match was kind of consoled by Keith Lee, who was another kind of journeyman, saying, hey, man, you're going to get this together. You just got to believe in yourself. And it looked like there was going to be a thing there. Okay, cool. And then a good period goes by, probably a month, maybe more. And which, again, is understandable because they just made their transition to television, so they have a little bit of a different focus right now. But, like I said, Bronson Reed's getting all these pushes. I digress.
He's gone.
He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
He's back.
Okay, cool. So Bronson Reed, he's on TV all the time, but I digress. So it comes out this week that WWE released the Jordan Myles shirt. Awesome. It is a black shirt with, and I'm sure you've probably seen it, but I'll go over it.
It's right here.
Thank you. Red like half circle, kind of shaped like a mouth, and then the word Jordan Myles in all white, looking like a smile. Because of his gimmick, and they've even referred to him as like Smiley Jordan Myles or Jordan Smiles, etc. So the story,
Norman Smiley,
the story as it is told, and this is from the Jordan Myles perspective, and then we'll loop around to WWE. Jordan Myles insists that he did not authorize the shirt, that he is completely against the shirt. He sends out a public tweet that goes instantly viral and catches fire in a kind of saying, hey, I don't want this shirt. Because it carries a lot of racial epithets. And I forget what the name of it is, but the old figurines that that were in very, very poor taste with the very dark faced
Okay.
people.
Really
big
quick.
red lips, big white teeth. That kind of thing.
Okay, so really quick, I just have to. Small Poot the Bard history lesson. Okay? Because when I went to college, we actually spoke a lot about what was called minstrel shows. Okay?
Yes.
So it was in the 1800s, even into the 1900s. Minstrel shows were a big deal. They were huge entertainment. And what it was white people dressing up in blackface. Okay? And what it was traditionally was blackface with large white, like a large white oval around the mouth to replicate very insensitive views of African Americans. And they would put on shows where they were caricatures of black people. Now, here's the crazy thing. African Americans at the time realized there was so much money in this that what they did was they would be African Americans as white people as African Americans.
Oh,
so that they could get their cut of this whole thing. And that's where the insensitive nature of the large red lips and big
white
pearly
teeth.
white teeth came from. It came from the minstrel show, the caricature of African Americans back in the day. And that's why it's not acceptable anymore, because it's really, really insensitive. But there's your little history lesson from Poot the Bard. Go on.
Damn,
and
Poot, well done.
Thank you.
I
paid a lot of money for knowledge like that.
There you go. But they even in the early mid 1900s, they have these little statues of these guys that are completely basically black, but it's a little bit brown face, big red lips, big white teeth. A lot of people had them in the yard. My freaking neighbor across the street had one, which my buddy Bill absolutely loved every time. But I digress. Anyway, so not cool. Where we are right now, super PC culture.
Yeah.
I hear that, but I mean, this kind of thing, not cool. So I don't know if the shirt was intended to be that, but it certainly came off as that, because Vince McMahon, it has no touch with reality, and he doesn't get it. He looks at that and goes, "Oh, what a great idea for a shirt. It looks just like him. We'll sell 1 billion of them to all of our African American customers." I'm sure that's exactly what he thought. Someone for them, someone for the masses. So Jordan Myles ACH says, "You know what? No, I'm distancing myself from this. I don't want this." WWE replied with a very quick reply, pulling the shirt, saying, "We work with all of our wrestlers on all of our products," and I forget his real name, but they used his real name, saying that he signed off on it, yada yada yada. Send another tweet from Jordan Myles saying, No. Here's the email I got from this dude," and he straight up put the guy's email in the tweet, so you could see his full email address, and he was like, "You don't believe me? Send an email to this guy." Saying,
yeah, he put him on blast.
The email said, "Hey," and I'm gonna paraphrase it, but it's something to the effect of, "Hey, Hunter and Raw Dog believe that this is a better idea for the shirt, so we're gonna go in this direction, yada yada yada." So that was part one, and then things kind of were choppy there for a while, and then the next day, he goes on a huge tear, talking about how he's he lost his fucking mind, and I mean he has spiraled hard. Talk about he was how he was the representation of the black culture, and that guys that are in the minority like him should not be okay with this kind of thing, and that he called Jay Lethal, multi-time Ring of Honor World Champion, Television Champion, etc., one of the best wrestlers in the world today. He called Jay Lethal an Uncle Tom for going along with these kind of things.
Oh my
and
god,
it's
dude! You gotta see. Here's the thing.
That word,
Titus O'Neil. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm gonna look this up.
No, you're good.
Huh?
You're good.
Titus O'Neil. response here. I can't type or write and talk at the exact same time. I just can't because I'm apparently a mongoloid. But okay. Titus O'Neil responded to Jordan Myles. This is courtesy. Like, this is Titus O'Neil's Twitter account, but I'm finding it via CageSideSeats.com here.
Very eloquently, by the way.
Titus, oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Titus O'Neil.
No, I mean Titus is up response.
Oh, he said, at GoGo Miles, he said, I am 100% in agreement that the shirt is very distasteful. That being said, bringing others into this into this to vent your frustrations or issues that have nothing to do with it at WWE or the shirt is also very distasteful. It's for hashtag, if it's hashtag for the culture, don't attack those in it. And, Titus O'Neil, one could look at that if they wanted to be knee jerky and say Titus O'Neil is simply just, is just being a company man. But that's not true. Like, I mean, this is very true. This is a man, he's had his ups and downs, and he's had a lot of kind of bad luck. The man is still employed by WWE. He goes and does a lot of the Make-A-Wish stuff. He, is a company guy. He understands. He's an ambassador. He's an ambassador. He really is.
He's doing it the right way, unlike Seth Rollins.
He is. And, he doesn't get involved in this stuff much or any of this kind of drama, but when he does, he's really on the nose. And he really, really is saying and doing the right thing. I think not just for WWE, but for Jordan Myles. If that makes sense.
100%, man.
Like, I mean, it's one of those things that Jordan Myles, how old is Jordan Myles? What is he, early 20s?
Mid-20s, I'd say.
Mid-20s.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, look it up. Early mid-20s. Maybe this is one of those things that, he could have handled this a little more gracefully. He could have. And who knows... there's a lot of evidence to say that WWE just did this no matter what Jordan Myles said. But I don't know. It's
31.
It's hard to say. He's
31,
really,
by the way. Yeah, right.
Oh boy, okay.
I don't know. This is strictly Alec Ransom's opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. But the way I see things is there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. And you have to be prepared for the consequences of your actions. So if you feel that this is the hill that you are willing to die on, you know what? By all means, let it rip.
Yep.
Do what you got to do. But you have to be prepared for the consequences of that. When you put your boss and the second in command, when you call them out specifically on Twitter with their Twitters or whatever, the ats, I don't know what you call them. I don't twat a lot. But when you put their handles in there and you directly reference them and you're directly talking to them.
You also have two kids though.
What?
Nothing. Go on. Okay.
You have to be prepared for the consequences. I don't know. Maybe I'm, and I'm 35, but I feel like in this case, I'm old school to where if you have a problem with somebody or something, the way that it's being done, you go to them. So if he really was that offended by this, he really should have gone to Vince and Triple H and sat down with them and in a meeting and said very respectfully, look, I understand that this is the T-shirt idea that you want to go with, but I have a big problem with this, and I feel very disrespected. I feel this is very racially charged, and I really am uncomfortable with this shirt, and I would really like it if we could go in a different direction. I don't know why you have to immediately go 110% on the attack. because if you don't get fined or fired or buried after doing something like this, you are supremely lucky. And if you do get fined or fired or buried because of it, well, I mean, you made your bed. Now you got to lie in it. And I'm sure in this day and age, you know, the way that people think nowadays, it's like, well, this offended me, I'm going to go on blast with it. Okay, but that might not be the most mature or the most appropriate way to handle things.
Speaking as someone who is historically, and Beef can attest to this, historically a knee-jerk reactor and also an overthinker of like situations and someone who like things that are important to them, it's really easy to get caught up in your emotions, man. It's super easy, especially when maybe in the back of your mind you see an opportunity to jump out in front and make yourself more present, if that makes sense.
I hear what you're saying and all that, but oftentimes, you know, when you're that emotionally charged on something, you're not going to react the most appropriately.
No.
You know, a lot of times, if you're that emotionally charged by something, your most appropriate response, the best response would be to, you know, be mad about it, fester it,
not respond,
calm down a little bit, and then look at it objectively, you know, and then and weigh your choice. Because I mean, this guy made a choice. He made a choice to put Vince and Triple H on blast. Vince, you freaking know this guy. Like, he's a nutbag, and I can't imagine he's going to respond well to this. Triple H seems like the type of dude who gives respect when he gets respect, and this is very disrespectful. I mean, regardless of how, you know, this guy might be feeling disrespected by WWE, to do this to the chairman and the CEO and the COO, holy cow. I think that's a very, very bad choice. And I understand that WWE might...
Go ahead.
WWE might not have made the best choice in this T-shirt. But, you know, when he went nuts about it, they took it down immediately. So I don't often like to stand up for WWE because I think that they're, you know, a lot of the decisions they make are stupid. But they took it down. And I just really wonder if they would have done the same thing. And I truly believe that, you know, in this day and age, if he would have went to them calmly and respectfully and asked them to not sell the shirt and asked them to redesign it, I bet they would have taken it down immediately and redesigned it.
I bet you there's more to that story, though, because if you read first of all, I agree with you, which is really weird. Actually, you and I really do kind of agree on a lot, but we don't agree a lot on the podcast. Anyway, I agree with you that first of all, he's a fucking professional, okay? I work customer service for my fucking job, and it is a tough job because you probably 75% of my calls are people that are pissed off about something that I have to try and, like, navigate through. So, like, I don't take that personally. I mean, I do, but I don't take it out on them on the call. I put myself on mute and bitch, or I wait till I'm done with the call and I bitch. You know,
have you ever accidentally not put yourself on mute?
No, sir. No, sir. And that's how I've always done it, man.
I broadcast myself to a lot of people bitching one time. Anyway, go on.
That's awesome.
No, it's
but
not.
Like, you know,
but
there's a time and a place to be upset about it. You know, and when you're a professional, you're being paid for a job, you have to be a professional. What he did was not professional. With going to Twitter immediately and doing it the way that he did it was not professional. Now, here's where I'll stray. I think he had to do it that way because if you read the email, it came across as like per my last email kind of thing. It's like, hey, we discussed this, and you know we're sorry that you don't like this. We're sorry that you don't like the design, but this is what we're going with. So I think now, here's the question: had he never kind of thrown a fit, would this have gotten a backlash? I think yes. Because I think anybody can look at that and go, oh, that's just in poor taste. That's a Vince McMahon move if I ever did see it. And he could have put his hands up as the victor, had zero, completely unsoiled, and been the hero of the situation. But I think that him going to Twitter was the only way to get that shirt pulled immediately before they really sold anything. Because I guarantee you that they would have sold something, and then a couple of days later, the internet would have went crazy, and then it would have gotten pulled. But I think that him doing it this way was quicker.
So 2 things to go off of that. Yes, this way was quicker, for sure. But if people were as triggered as they seem to be in 2019, I don't know. I feel like if there would have been that much backlash from fans or from the general population who would have seen the shirt and gone, whoa, oh, that's super racist and not right. He could have kept his nose clean in all this if he would have just let the masses do the outraging and the complaining. He could have kept his nose clean. He could have stayed in good graces with Vince and Triple H, because it wouldn't have been him. It would have been everybody else, who was doing the outraging and the bitching. And if the shirt got pulled at that point, okay, fine. You've kept your nose clean. You're still in good graces with the company. So that's 1. And then 2, yes, that he did post that email about how the guy, kind of was like, insinuated, like per our conversation or per our last email or whatever. But as far as I know, and I could be wrong, as far as I know, nothing else has been posted on like how this conversation was initiated. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? He could have literally just sent an email and been like, you know what? I really don't like that shirt design. Can you do something else? Like, just super simple. We don't know both sides of the story, and I hate playing devil's advocate for WWE, but
yeah,
we don't know at this juncture what the conversation was before that. If he legitimately expressed his concern and how offended he was and how, he feels it's in poor taste and it's racially motivated or racially charged, and they still insisted on it, okay, I see, I can see him being a little more validated in doing this. Not completely, because I still think he went about it the wrong way. But we don't know the conversation beforehand.
If that was the case, though, don't you think that he would have released that email first, though, with his problems with the T-shirt?
That's what's making me think, like,
maybe
did you really express how strongly you felt about this shirt beforehand? Because he didn't release any emails of him explaining why he didn't want it or why he found it to be so offensive or why he thought it was so wrong. Those emails haven't been released yet. Maybe he will, and this whole conversation's a moot point at that point. But as far as I know, the only email that he showed or he released was that little snippet of, that guy saying, well, Hunter approved this design and Road Dogg likes it and blah, blah, blah. So who knows? You don't know what happened before then or what the conversation was. And, I don't know, like, I'm one of those people where I don't know. I can't, sure you can say, well, if you're a 35-year-old fat white guy, how can you put yourself in this situation? You're not triggered by this sort of stuff because you're not, you don't live it, blah, blah, blah. Fair argument. Absolutely a fair argument. But I'm not triggered by, like, I don't get easily triggered by something. And I think that, might be a trend in our society now. We're getting kind of deep into this, but I feel like it needs to be said. So many people feel so offended by such little things, and then they're triggered by it, and then they lose their shit. I don't understand why you can't just take a step back and go, hey, why don't you calm down a bit and realize that it, maybe it's not that big of a deal.
So here's the thing with that. And I think we all can agree that the T-shirt's in poor taste, yeah?
Yes, I really don't know if it was as...
It was not purposeful, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think it was completely, like... I think it was inadvertent.
I
at
agree.
best.
So, but at the same time, we know Vince. and we know Vince's humor. You know, we are guys who have watched this product for a long time. We know, and we're not like best friends with Vince McMahon. We don't talk to him on the reg, you know, nothing like that. But I mean,
well, you don't.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
he's sitting in my room right now, listening to the podcast. I do know that
Mr. Ransom has had at least one conversation with the man. Anyway, true story. But that's one.
Nothing, Vince. Just nothing.
One for another time, I'm sure. Anyway, so my point here is that I mean, so the shirt may not have been purposefully in bad taste, but again, like, and we talk about this all the time. There's got to be people surrounding Vince that can go, you know, that kind of looks like, you know, the caricature of the blacks from the 1920s. Do you want to kind of get rid of that?
Zippity doodah.
Right.
No, like. But the thing is, how high do you think Jordan Myles is on Vince McMahon's like list? Like, seriously.
Well, here's the thing, okay, and I want to talk about Fallout in a minute, but as far as this goes, like, it's and this could just be from this, like, the Twitter beef, like him putting on this persona, but to me, it feels like this is very important to him, and that's what we got to be careful of, because we are all very white dudes. We do not understand a bit of, you know, what African Americans go through in that kind of culture. So, like, we're not going to step on any toes here. So there are African Americans who are very passionate about the history and about what's happened to them in the past. And I mean, you can have your opinions about whether that's right, whether it's wrong, whether they need to let it go, whatever. Okay, but it's very clear that there is a problem in our society where some people definitely view them, African Americans, as second-class citizens, and this mentality, the shirt mentality, I guess, kind of dates all the way back to where that problem started. So that's why some African Americans do wear this thing on their sleeve, because we still do have a lot of civil rights issues. So that being said, the dude clearly, and you guys made a point, he chose his hill to die on. You know, he said, hey, you know what? As a proud black man, I am offended by this shirt. It is a caricature of everything that I work to be against. And you know, he chose his hill to die on. Now, that being said, what are the consequences? What happens to Jordan Myles?
Well, I see one of two things happening, because a lot of people.
Keep in mind, Ransom, before you go into answering, keep in mind that this is a dude who won the breakout tournament in NXT. There were 16 guys in that tournament who were basically kind of quote-unquote new recruits for NXT for WWE that they brought in from the Indies and from other promotions. So this dude was, like, put on a pedestal above them. So I want you to kind of think about that push in your mind whenever you answer. But go ahead.
Oh, sure. No, I hear what you're saying there. And, you know, let's not forget that people have been pushed for a multitude of reasons and then just as quickly buried for a multitude of reasons.
Or for even a single reason.
Yeah. I mean, whether it's in-ring talent or whether they ticked somebody off. I mean, I don't know. You know, say what you will about the man. Look at Ryback. You know, he skyrocketed to the top. He was getting a huge push. He was big. He was beefy. Vince McMahon loves the big, beefy guys. And then he was buried. Same thing with Vladimir Kozlov. Same thing with Heidenreich. And, you know, whether or not they, you know, did something in the back to tick somebody off, or, you know, regardless, there have been people that have been put in those positions to be the man. And it has been yanked out from underneath them for God knows why. But I digress. I see one of two things happening. I really don't think that they're going to flat out fire the guy, because I think they're smart enough to realize that could really blow back on them in a super duper negative way. You know, he comes out and, you know, has this big protest and, you know, blah, blah, blah for civil rights. Not blah, blah, blah as in I don't care about it, but blah, blah, blah as in we've already covered it. If they fired him, that would be very, very bad press. They could bury him easily without that bad press. They could just say, hey, we went in a different route. This is what we're doing with our characters. This is what we're doing with our story. We want to put these guys over this guy, whatever the case may be. They don't have to justify why they push people. As much as we might bitch about why they're pushing this guy instead of that guy and for what reason, they don't have to justify that. So I see them either burying him or we've heard a lot of stories, and Chris Jericho himself has even told a lot of these stories where, guys have stood up to Vince McMahon one way or another for whatever reason. They've come right out and stood up to Vince McMahon. They've told him that the idea was stupid. They said, this is bullshit, whatever the case may be. And Vince McMahon likes guys with balls. No pun intended there. He likes guys who are able to stand up to him and really give him the business when they feel that it's right, and he can respect that. There have been a lot of stories about Vince McMahon respecting people that have stood up to him. So my thought is they either bury the guy or Vince sees this and goes, hey, you know what? I wanted that shirt idea, but this guy really stood up for what he believed in. He's not afraid to make waves, and that's the kind of guy that we want. We want a guy that's not afraid to make waves and, who's not afraid to go out on a limb for what he believes in. So maybe he doesn't get buried for it. Maybe he ends up getting rewarded for it. It's hard to say. Those are my two things that I see happening.
Well, I honestly think it would be in bad taste for WWE to either I mean, it really depends on what social media and people, the general public, has to say about this situation. Because it's really a 50-50 split here. You know what I mean? There's a lot of precedents for WWE not exactly being racially sensitive in the past. Just look at whenever DX dressed up as the Nation. Or whenever Triple H was in his run defending against Booker T. Now, different time, but still the point remains the same. I think it would not behoove them to take any drastic measures if Jordan Myles came to them and said, look, I want my release. This is ridiculous. And they granted it to him. Both sides would have to come out and say, look, we have reached a mutual agreement and we have agreed to release Jordan Myles from his contract. He came to us and requested it. We're going to release him. That would be the only way to do it, because if they bury him on programming, it's going to make WWE look bad. If they release him with no pretense or saying Jordan Myles has requested his release, we wish him his best in blah, 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 all that stuff. I think you're not going to see Jordan Myles for a while. And the next time you do, it will be in some kind of mid-card angle. And I think he's just going to run out his contract. I really don't see. Now, and this is still fresh. This is still news. So obviously things could change, or we could all be incredibly wrong. But I think he's going to mire in low mid card until his contract's up. And then he's going to go back to the Indies, go to Raw, go to Impact, go to AEW, go to the maybe even Japan. Who knows? He could go anywhere. But I think really it's hard to say. I think he's just going to kind of mire in mid-card and then be released.
So here's my take on the fallout from this. I really believe that he probably holds his own destiny in his hand. Now, I think, Poot, you mentioned about how it's perceived. I think the perception is, hey, WWE fucked up either advertently or inadvertently. The jury's still out on that because, again, it's a fan. But, people are understanding, hey, this is not how you handle it. And I think if he would have stopped at day one, where he put that dude on blast with the email, that was enough to prove your point. That And not everybody would have been for him still at that point. There still would have been some backlash, but he would have had a lot more people in his corner. But the minute that he called Jay Lethal and Uncle Tom, like that, you don't call if you're an African American person, you don't call another African American person that. You do not, because that is a huge insult. So for him to say that publicly, very publicly, when he knew that the eyes of the wrestling world were on him, was a very poor decision. But that being said, I still think that he holds the power of his own career in his hand, because I think if he goes to Vince and Triple H right now and says, I want out, I want my release, they can't say no. They can't say no, because if they say no, it's going to get a lot worse than it gets before it gets better, and it's going to be a huge race issue that's going to be embroiled. And I guarantee you that they're probably half of their fan base, maybe a little less than half, are African American viewers. So that is a potential, 50% or so loss that you're looking at of people saying, hey, they're doing this whole situation dirty. They don't want to risk that. And I get it that with AEW out there, and dude, ACH is super fucking talented. You don't want to release a guy like that into the fucking water. But at the same time, sometimes you just got to cut your losses. So if ACH goes to them and says, hey man, I want out, they can't say no. Because if they say no, like I said, it becomes a race issue. I think that if he sticks around, you're nailing the head, that we're not going to see Jordan Myles for a while. I don't know if it's going to be like a legit suspension, which is what I would do. If it were me, I would suspend him. I would say, hey, you know what? We don't publicly condone employees taking our business to the public and releasing, internal employee emails to the public. So because of that, we're going to put you on, a month suspension, 2 month suspension, whatever. Bring him back, work him back in. Could we see a character change because of this? 100%. He could turn into a heel for all we know. Lose the smile and be like super serious. Not the worst thing in the world. But if they bring him on the line, if they bring him on TV and they feed him to people, that's going to make WWE look bad.
Oh, yeah.
If they fire him, that's going to make WWE look bad. If they push him, that's going to make WWE look weak because, again, it's a power play. So their only options at this point are releasing him if he wants that, or not using him until this kind of blows over, and then, we see with what we get. Honestly, Poot, I never saw the dude getting out of the mid-card anyway, just because it's Vince McMahon. Look at fucking Ricochet. The dude has probably the most... I would put Ricochet on the same level as Kenny Omega and on the same level as Will Ospreay as the best wrestlers right now in the world.
Wow.
And the dude can't catch a fucking break.
Bold fucking statements.
He cannot catch a fucking break because Vince looks at a guy like that, and it's not necessarily because of race. It's because of style.
Flippy shit.
Vince looks at a guy like that. Exactly. Vince looks at a guy like that and goes, he's an act. We'll use him, but... no better than our truth.
All icing, no cake.
Exactly.
That's what he sees him as.
I don't see ACH getting more than a mid-card push anyway. So, like, mid-card at best, maybe he was an NXT champion down the line, but, that and a fucking
North
quarter
American.
get you a cup of coffee.
North American at best. Like, and it's no offense to him. You know what I mean? But speaking...
I could honestly, I could see him taking the strap. Maybe not a super long reign, like not an Adam Cole style reign, but I could see him having a strap for a couple months.
Speaking of having a strap, we got a future champion who came back and now turned fucking heel.
Yeah, man, that's the other big news from the week.
Balor turning heel. Man, I was over the moon because I'm not gonna lie, I skimmed through NXT. I skimmed through it because I didn't have time. I've been busy with various.
And yet you sit down and watch Raw.
with various stuff. No, I didn't. I skimmed through that as well. I went, okay, okay, I know what's going to happen. Okay, Becky Lynch. Okay. Like, it was very milquetoast and boring. With NXT, though, that I got to the end because I had heard some news and they were like, I didn't have it spoiled, but it was like, whoa, NXT was great this week. Wow, what a finish to NXT. I was like, all right, I got to see this. And man, when he fucking Pele kicked Gargano, oh, it was magic. It was magic. It was magic.
So NXT is weird because it's like 400, maybe 500 of like ravenous Smart Mark fans.
Yeah.
So like a heel turn in front of them is not going to have the same kind of effectiveness that it would have had in front of 15,000 of like, yokels, to put it bluntly. But that being said, I think it was a necessary turn for the Balor character, a return to form, if you will. And I would love it if he started using the name Prince or Prince Balor or something like that, because the wrestling world obviously is abuzz with this whole Myles thing, but also because of the Balor heel turn, which was perfectly executed. Not a fucking person saw it coming, but if you watch his promos the last 2 or 3 weeks, he sowed every seed in there, man. Like, everything from, like, the change in haircut to, like, talking about his past being his future. Like, he sowed every seed fucking perfectly. There are very few heel turns that I'll say were done perfectly, and I think that his was done absolutely perfect because no one saw it coming.
How about that spike pile driver? Just Jesus Christ.
Right?
Oh.
Yeah, dude. So, here's the thing with that whole shebang. I'm worried that they make him part of the Undisputed Era, which would be cool, don't get me wrong. But we don't need another Bullet Club.
I'm not worried that they're gonna make him a part of Undisputed Era. I'm worried they're gonna make him the leader of Undisputed Era.
Well, and I mean that does serve a purpose. It creates some Balor Cole tension, and eventually turns Cole into a big mega face, which is great. He turns into a smarmy mega face.
He's already a goddamn mega face.
Well, yes, but he's not supposed to be. That's what I'm saying. Like, NXT is a weird fucking crowd. And don't get me wrong, AEW does it too. And that's why I think that Jim Ross is so off base with saying that, faces and heels, yada, yada, yada. You can create tension and dynamics without the old fucking, like, take your vitamins, brother, versus, like, Iraqi sympathizer. Like, you can create tension with a good story, with, like, personal vendettas, without having a necessarily stapled face and stapled heel, which is why kind of wrestling's in a weird place right now. But I just, at the end of the episode, the Undisputed Era were thrown up, the UE, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then somebody in the crowd was like, do it, Balor, throw it up. And I was like, okay.
No, I like I'm sorry I keep interrupting, but
You're good.
I like the idea of them doing that, going, huh? And Balor not doing it, because then it's like it conveys the idea of the Undisputed Era going, this is an opportunity for us. Like, he's not aggressive towards us. Let's show him, hey, we got you. Let's make this our place. You can jump on this train.
It's Sting 1999, man. Like, that, and that, as cool as it was, and I'm like, oh man, it'd be cool if he joined the Undisputed Era. I snapped out of it immediately, and I was like, wait. It would just be another fucking incarnation of the Bullet Club, which is just another fucking incarnation of the fucking NWO. And, like, that, the whole fucking Sting thing, the will he, won't he, for a fucking year and a half. Whose side is Sting on? Oh, well, he's not on WCW side. Oh, he's not on the NWO side. He's on Sting's side. we don't. You want to rehash your WCW Nitro storyline? Do it on the fucking Raw. Have somebody fucking, flirt with going to the OC or whatever. And I love those guys, but man, keep that shit out of my NXT. I just and I'm probably not giving them enough credit because they managed to keep everything so fresh down there. They don't really rehash much, but that was my initial thought was oh man, it's fucking 1999 Sting all over again. Balor's gonna start coming out in crow face paint, walking around the rafters. I'm over it, man. But that being said, I'm super jazzed about the heel turn and done right. I think. Well, first of all, we're going to be entitled to a great Balor versus Gargano feud. So that's first and foremost.
Well, here's the other cool thing, and we haven't heard from Ransom in a while. You still alive, Ransom?
No.
Okay, good enough. On the follow-up show, I can't remember what they call it. That's on FS1 with Renee and.
Behind the bell,
behind the bell or behind
the
behind the curtain or whatever it is, with Booker T and Renee. Balor was on there, and he was just smarmy, and he was just kind of he's like, yeah, I know I'm fucking good. Yeah, I know I'm this. And the best part is Book was talking to him, and he's like, well, you had the reign for so long in NXT and everything. And Balor, while Booker T was ranting, he just goes, how long, Book? How long? How long, Book? And Renee jumped in with the number, what was it, 292?
Something like that,
It was 292. And she goes, 292. And he looks at her and goes, 292, that's right. That's how good I am. You should know. It's subtly implying he's like, that's how good I am. That's how good I am. I know how good I am. Say it. Say how good I am. Do it. I'm not going to, it's so good. And then at the end of it, he stood up and he said, the prince is back.
Oh, did he?
Oh.
That's fucking fantastic.
I flipped shit. I was so happy. I'm like, yes, that is perfect. We're getting the real rock and rolla. You know what I mean? I can't wait.
So, Ransom, what do you think? I'm sure you at least heard about it. So, what are your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I don't have too many thoughts on it. As far as this goes, I'm a wait and see kind of guy. I'll wait and see what they do with it. As is with most WWE things nowadays, I don't get amped up for what could be or what might be coming. I'm all wait and see, and we've talked it to death, but I have to go back and cite the Fiend. Everybody lost their shit with the Fiend. This is going to be the coolest gimmick ever. This is the greatest thing ever. He's so great. Blah blah blah. This is going to be the great Hell in a Cell. Freaking the Saudi Arabia show, whatever the hell that's called. I don't even care that much to think of what it's called. Crown Jewel.
Right.
No, I'm not going to get excited for it until I see it unfold, because I'm setting myself up for disappointment. So I'm going to get all amped up about Finn Balor being this, the prince is back here. Something. Just like with the Fiend. Oh, yes, the Fiend. This is going to be the coolest thing ever. This is the coolest gimmick ever. Bray Wyatt's a G. They did this. So I'm going to wait and see. If they do something great with him, I will be pleasantly surprised, super happy. But I'm not going to set myself up for disappointment.
Good enough.
And that's fair. Yeah, I mean that's fair at this point, especially as you mentioned with that the Fiend debacle. It's fair to be skeptical, but I will say it again, man. NXT is not WWE. I mean, it is. It's using WWE's money, but it's and I've been pleasantly surprised that it seems like Vince has been pretty not involved in it, because it feels just like NXT but with an extra hour. So
Vince is the real Fiend. Vince is the real life Fiend, because he is always lurking. You never know when he's going to pop up and ruin something great. especially on NXT. He's always lurking on NXT. Don't think for a minute that Vince has no idea, no input, no care in the world about what NXT is doing, especially now that they're on weekly TV, especially now that they're up against AEW. I guarantee you he knows every single storyline, and while it might not feel like a Vince McMahon product, I can guarantee you that he's got his fingers in the pie. And if he feels like something needs to go in some direction, regardless of whether or not Triple H protests it or the talent themselves protest it, if Vince wants something to happen, it's going to happen. So I still am hesitant because Vince is always lurking.
Agreed. Yeah, that is a.
I mean, I want it to be great. I do. I want NXT, especially NXT. I especially want NXT to be great, because if you have NXT being great, going up against AEW being great, we've said it time and time again. We win. The fans win. And I'm just so hesitant on getting very excited about something going on in NXT.
Well,
for fear of that ruination.
I think you should be a little more comfortable with getting excited about something in NXT versus the main roster. I understand your apprehension.
Oh, I am for sure. But,
you know, I get it. I totally get it. But I think it's acceptable to be excited about something that's happening in NXT. What do you guys say we thank the sponsors and then we get into some trivia and whatnot?
Before we do that, though, I want to talk about one other thing real quick here.
Yeah, what's up?
We talked a little bit about we talk about ratings pretty pervasively, and again, you know, ratings are not the end all be all.
Or are you talking about UK thing?
No,
oh, okay.
No. I am talking about SmackDown this week, pulling 88,000. Less
Is that
than
a record
million.
low?
That is a record low for the show, not on Fox, but for the show overall. Now, to be fair, the it was preempted by the World Series, so it was moved to FS1. They did give viewers notice. Also, to be fair, I think they announced it the week before, and they had promos. I saw, you know, numerous promos on college football and on NFL for SmackDown on FS1 for 1 week only. So Fox did everything they could to let people know. But that is what you run with whenever you run with the big dogs, because WWE
big dogs.
And God help me, even AEW is never going to trump college football, the NFL, the NBA, or the MLB, especially not the World fucking Series. So at the end of the day, if Fox, TNT can get their hands on a quote-unquote real sport, they're going to put that shit on 9 times out of 9 and say, sorry about your luck. Now, what was it that AEW was going to be preempted for that they didn't end up getting preempted? I don't even remember now. It was a baseball game. It was a baseball playoff game.
Yep.
So good on TNT for you know sticking to the AEW guns. But I get the feeling once basketball season kind of hits, and I'm sure that Turner Broadcasting has their plan for basketball and AEW, but I'm sure once the playoffs come, because TNT is like the NBA playoff station. So, like, I get the feeling that we're going to be seeing some of that in the spring, and, you know, we'll see how AEW rebounds. But, yeah, not a good look for SmackDown this week.
Do you think the viewership was low because of what they were up against, or because of the television network channel that they were on? Like,
both.
What caused that? Is it?
Well, and honestly, like, there was so much hype and SmackDown over the summer because you had Heyman and Bischoff and like sweeping changes and like, you know, we've kind of hit a point. Sorry, did I drop out again?
You're dropping a lot.
Oh, I didn't hear him.
Okay.
Okay. So now we're kind of, obviously Bischoff's been fired. Now we're hitting a point where it's back to the norm. Raw feels like crap. I haven't watched it in like a month, and I feel great for it. SmackDown looks like crap, feels like crap. So it's back to the status quo. So I think that's part of it. The network change is probably part of it. And yeah, the World Series is fucking stiff competition. So I get all of that, but man, like to draw a sub 1.0, I'm sure is not what Fox wanted to see.
Well, you ready for this? I don't know if you heard about this. So this past week on Raw, okay, and this is via whatculture.com. The October, not this past, not yesterday's Raw, the week before, in the UK, Raw drew 3,000 viewers.
Wow!
Oh my gosh!
That is not an error.
DVR or
no? It said the 18th of October SmackDown. The 18th of October SmackDown drew 23,000. And then to tune in on the October 21st Raw, 3,000 people.
Well, that's abysmal.
Ooh, Billy.
That's not abysmal. That's tragic. That is row 2 a.m. numbers. Like,
wow.
That's like no offense to Roe, but like that is.
I mean, deservedly so, right? Because I think we can all agree that it's been pretty shitty as of late.
I mean, that's an understatement, but like, it's just the point that it's like, man, that's like, that's something that they need to look at. Like, I like really. They got to do something because, like, AEW is pretty consistent. The shine will wear off of it at some point, I'm sure. But by then, they will have built enough of a fan base, and they'll have people who are going to the live shows for a reasonable price like us, who are willing to tune in and willing to give our time, effort, and energy to their show because it's entertaining and because it's consistent and because it's consistently good, like, and entertaining. Like, I mean, like, WWE
time
is
limit
just,
draws aside.
Yeah, time limit draws aside. But that was one instance. The like, it was, it makes me sad because I'm like, I feel like Vince McMahon and the other powers that be just think that they're just going to keep riding high. And the reason that they are, what do you think their attitude would be if they didn't have the blood money or the Fox money?
Oh, they'd be hurting.
Not just hurting, but hurting for a squirting.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
they'd be. I wouldn't say destitute because Vince McMahon is a multimillionaire. He's got a lot of money. But I think that they would certainly be a lot more frugal. Whereas now they can be a little bit more liberal because they have, tens of millions of dollars of Saudi money coming in and, millions of dollars of Fox money coming in. It's a problem, yes, but let's see if this is a pattern or if this is a one-time thing.
So, speaking of the Saudi money coming in, when is Crown Jewel?
Tomorrow.
Thursday, Halloween night.
Oh, Thursday, yeah. Thursday, yeah.
Thursday, Halloween night. Trick or treat, bitches.
I know we're not doing. Predictions. For Crown Jewel, because I don't know if any of the four of us are actually going to watch that show.
Nope.
I know we talked about it on one episode, but I want real quick. I think about this every once in a while when I think about wrestling. I have no idea what they're going to do or what they're going to try to do with this Fiend versus Seth Rollins. I mean, excuse me, we were all riding high on the Fiend until Hell in the Cell, and then it was like all the air got taken out of the room. You're like, what just happened?
Yep.
And I can't think of a scenario that happens at Crown Jewel where we all don't go, yeah, yep, they did it again. Like, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, do you have any ideas what they're going to do? And I get it. It's overseas. It's not an American crowd. Fine. But there's going to be a lot of American eyes on that show, especially the people who were that upset and disappointed in what they did with Rollins and The Fiend. So they're going to be watching again to see, okay, can WWE rectify this? Can we right the ship? Can we get it back to where we need it to be with The Fiend? So it's not going to be in a USA crowd, but there's going to be a lot of USA eyes watching that. What the hell are they going to do?
Put Seth Rollins over clean.
That's what they're going to do.
If they put Seth Rollins over clean, I'm never watching WWE again.
Bold words are bold. I'm telling you, man. I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown for like 3 weeks now, except for like little bits and pieces. Man, I've never felt better about wrestling in my life. That's probably an understatement. But I mean, like, legit, man. Like, it's to the point where the weekly product is old, and it's old fast. See Lana and Bobby Lashley versus Rusev. So they're literally in a corner. So here's the thing. They took every bit of drama out of this match whenever they put The Fiend on SmackDown. With The Fiend on SmackDown, there's no way that anybody in the world believes that Bray Wyatt's going to win the title. I think that they should have made it a non-title match and put The Fiend over. That would have been smart. I think that they should have left The Fiend on Raw and let The Fiend win the title. That would have been smart. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to make your champ look good. And let's not forget that The Fiend was a substitute for Drew McIntyre, who was supposed to be Seth Rollins' dance partner in the fall. So, I mean, at the end of the day,
did he get hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt, and that whole shebang. He was supposed to win. Again, if you believe what's out there, he was supposed to win King of the Ring and then be the prime challenger to Seth Rollins. So, I think at best The Fiend was a placeholder. He was a right time, right place guy, and Vince saw the money and said, "Hey, we can get a lot of eyes on our product," and he did, and we shit on it, and I mean, I've unsubscribed to WWE Network. I will be streaming I didn't know that. I will be streaming my pay-per-views for free via other sites because until WWE proves that they're worth my money, I can invest in better things. So, or rather, other things, maybe not better, but so I mean, I just, I don't know, man. Like it just feels so cliche that I've seen this story before where and Ransom, God bless you, man, because we were all saying, oh, that stupid Ransom, he's holding us down, let us fly, man, and you saw the fucking forest from the trees, dude. You called it, and you said it's not gonna work. This is not gonna work how you think it's gonna go. And we were all like, oh, but they only got one way to go, and they didn't go the way that everybody in the world said they had to go this way, and now look at them.
It's because it's obvious. It's one of those things, how do you fuck this up? How? And it was like a challenge. It was like Vince McMahon went, hold my Geritol. Like,
Hold my Ico Pro.
Hold my Ico Pro. Hold my Hansen's energy drink.
It's just honestly, I almost want to watch just to see what happens.
No, I'll read reports, but I will not watch that shit. Did you not
watch Goldberg versus Goldberg versus Undertaker last year?
No, I went on YouTube and I watched highlights.
It was a fucking train wreck, and I think that this will be much the same. And like I've been saying since they announced this match, 100%, this is the Rollins thing. They're taking this feud to a foreign country to blow it off, to let Seth win, to let the quote unquote good guy win, without the backlash. They'll keep him off television for a week or two, and then bring him back against some shit-eating heel, and everybody will have forgotten. And hopefully the Fiend moves on to bigger and better things on SmackDown.
I don't think people are going to forget, though. I think people could forget if it was a one and done. If they flubbed it once, I think people could forget. They already pulled this stunt. They already pulled the stunt of keeping Rollins off TV a week after they botched the Rollins Fiend match. I think doing it again, like you said, Beef, this day and age, people are smart. They read the internet. A lot of WWE fans are smart. I don't think they'll be able to. I don't think they'll be able to do the old bait and switch 2 times in a row. Like, I think if they do another swarmy finish, or even if they put Rollins over clean, keeping him off TV 1 week, I don't think is going to matter. I think whenever he comes back on TV, I fear he's going to get the John Cena Roman Reigns treatment. He's going to come out, and you're going to start to see the shift to where the vast majority boo him and everything he does. And every time he comes out, and the whole burn it down boos across the board. When they do the whole punch, when they do the whole punch back and forth, heel punches, face punches, heel punches, anytime Seth Rollins lands a punch, it's going to be a sea of boos. And it doesn't matter who he's facing. It could be freaking Santino Marella. And when Santino Marella hits, they're going to cheer. When Rollins hits, they're going to boo. Like, I don't think they'll be able to pull it off twice, and have people just forgive and forget.
I've completely washed my hands of Rollins at this point. He posted something on Facebook, well, his account did. He used the tagline, whatever it takes. And I was like, no, man. I actually replied to this. I said, no, man, you're not an Avenger. You don't get to say that. You are Thanos, which is appropriate given his outfit at SummerSlam 2 years ago or last year. For a minute, he was cool. And everyone's like, hey, you know what? I understand Seth Rollins, and I dig his vibe. And then he got lost in himself. He became a fucking megalomaniac. And now everybody's like, well, now he's the real villain. So, like, I wash my hands of him.
Marty Scurll is the real villain.
That's true. But I've washed my hands of Rollins, man, because I'll tell you what, I'm right there on Becky too, because she said something about her being able to kick the entire locker room of AEW, and I get it. It's not her saying those words. The women's division of AEW, and again, it's not her saying those words. It's someone in her ear saying, "Hey, Becky, tweet this." But you know what? Fucking be a man, Hulk. Don't be scared. Don't be a company shill. That's what it comes down to. Don't be a company shill.
Running from Baker, that's what I heard.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, so, yeah, I mean, it's going to be shitty. I guarantee you that they're going to do some shitty finish. Because that's what they've been doing at, like, every house show and every live event. Seth Rollins has been going over with, like, some sort of shitty finish.
Except for that cage match.
So that's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a shitty finish. Somehow they're gonna try to make the Fiend look strong, and if it was any city in America, it'd be booed out of the building. We'll see how Saudi Arabia reacts, but I just yeah, man, my hope is not great for it.
Yikes!
Oh, all right. Well, Beef, why don't you thank the sponsors? We'll get ready for trivia.
I'd love to. We would love to thank our wonderful sponsors, Mr. Casual Gaming Dad himself, Tiger.
Uppercut!
Uppercut!
Oh.
Mr. Tiger Uppercut Bomb Tom, and his wonderful page over there at Casual Gaming Dad and on Casual Gaming Dad's Corner on Facebook. You can also catch him on YouTube and on Twitch. I know he likes to stream all three because when WWE likes to be dicks and pull the copyright move on Facebook, Twitch and stream
he beat that.
But this happens pretty often, where they'll pull a video midstream. he'll have to fight it, and it will be, re-put back up. But on YouTube and Twitch, that stream continues unaltered because, apparently no one really cares about YouTube or Twitch. So watch him. Make sure you check him out on there. He's in the he's doing the United Gaming Guild regular season right now. That's what we're talking about with the Friday the 13th runs. So awesome streamers who are really competing against one another. So it's very fun to watch. And then of course we want to thank Sean Tischler and everything that he's done with the IWC as far as bringing them to Clearfield for the past 10 years. And here's to 57 more years, man. Keep that shit coming. And like I said before, definitely check out IWC Winner Take All this Saturday, Elizabeth, PA, the Court Times complex, and then also a shout out to Gold Gaming for our awesome shirts and for what they support with Casual Gaming Dad. And if you're interested in one of our shirts, pick them up on the Casual Gaming Dad Gold Gaming page, and wear it, burn it, put it on a dummy and float it out to sea. We don't care.
Yes.
Wrap up $49.99 in it and send it to us.
Yeah, man.
Exactly.
I mean, however you got to get it done. Look, I keep doing this, and I'm sorry, but there's a lot of stuff's happened this past week. So real quick, I want to touch on one thing before we go to the hot tag trivia. My hot tag trivia is going to be quick, so we'll get through that fast. Speaking of video games, I haven't played it, but I have read and have heard a lot about the botch that is WWE 2K20.
It's rough. The best thing in the world is just go on YouTube and type in WWE 2K20 glitch. Oh, it's the best.
Even if you put the glitches and the bugs aside, which every game has, and if you're a Bethesda fan, you get used to them. But like, someone put a side-by-side in one of my other chats. Someone put a side-by-side comparison of Bianca Belair's entrance where she like twirls her hair in WWE 2K19, which is pretty good. Not quite flawless, but pretty damn good, versus 2K20, which is fucking janky as hell. Oh my God, it's bad.
Send that in the chat. I want to see it.
Yes. But someone told me, and I forgot all about this, that the company that was producing it, and it's still a part of 2K. It's still a part of like 2K games, but apparently like there's like a different distributor or producer or something. But basically, someone worked pretty much 2/3 / 3/4 of the way through the game, and then the licensing changed. I don't know that whole like shebang, but basically, the team that worked on it was not the team that completed it, and that's why it looks like 4 steps worse than last year. Like just on the graphics alone, oh my God, it looks so much worse.
Yeah,
makes you appreciate the glitchiness of Day of Reckoning a little bit more.
Oh my God, yes.
At least those were fun.
Game.
At least those were fun glitches.
Even character models, every one of them looks derpy.
Looks worse than last year. How as a video game franchise, you cannot make your new product look worse than your last product. You cannot. That is a rule of thumb. Unless you are going for like that like kitschy hipster vibe, and in which case you have to pull it off better. But this is not that. This is bad.
Agreed.
There's just so many disappointments flowing out of the WWE product left and right.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I don't understand what's happening there. I really don't.
I really feel like it's because this is the death rattle of Vince McMahon. I really do.
It is. Freaking the new incarnation of the XFL hasn't even gotten off the ground yet, and we're already seeing. Let me
say three sentences about that. So originally, it was reported that all XFL players were going to have a base contract of like $50,000 or something,
fuck?
And then like they reneged and said, no, you guys are gonna have a base salary of 25,000 plus bonuses, and like whenever a whole bunch of players heard that they're only guaranteed 25,000 unless they're like a superstar player or whatever, like a lot of people bailed. They're like, no, fuck that, that's not worth it, no way. That's just so,
dude. That Bianca,
more bad decisions.
That Bianca Belair gif is tragic.
Oh, it's bad, dude.
It's
we'll
real
have to share
bad.
that in the page. We'll have to share the page so all of our listeners, all 10 of you now, can watch it and behold how terrible it is.
Oh, it's tragically bad.
Feels so bad.
Yeah.
Like just such a bummer. It's all
Poor Tom got so excited for it, and it's
he did. He was so high on it.
Like, it's peeing out of your butt. That's what this game is. This game is peeing out of your butt.
My buddy who is a wrestling fan at work that I referenced earlier that went to the AEW show, he said something about he read somewhere. This has nothing to do with the video game, just a little quick tidbit of knowledge I meant to bring up before, but I forgot. He said he read some article somewhere about CM Punk said something along the lines of he would go back to WWE only if they gave him upwards of $25 million.
Yep.
$25 million.
Do you realize what that would inject to the product, though?
I don't know if Vince would spend that much on him. And honestly, if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know that CM Punk is worth that much.
Oh.
Well, he would pull over a lot of eyes because Vince knows that he's lost, and he is losing a lot of the smarts. A lot of the smart marks are saying, you know what? Look at me. I am, the fucking smarkiest smark you'll ever smark. And, like, I've basically, like, washed my hands of it. And, like, so... But if CM Punk came back, I'm like, okay, you know what? I would entertain the notion of making it at least appointment viewing because I know that he would not be involved in anything. Because he's not going to be a corporate show, and he never would be. I don't even think for $25 million, he's still going to be CM Punk. Phil Brooks is still going to go out there and be CM Punk. So, I mean, but the question is, risk reward is getting that section of Smark fans back worth that much money.
The people that have unsubscribed from the WWE Network because they've seen the product go downhill, I can't imagine you're the only one.
Nope.
Do those people come back? If CM Punk comes back, he signs a deal, he's back. They're putting him on a Raw or a SmackDown. Are you resubscribing to the WWE Network?
Cool.
And the people that have left, such as yourself, for the reasons, similar to why you unsubscribed from the WWE Network, do they get that many people back to make it worthwhile paying him $25 million a year?
I really believe that they would.
Really?
With Punk alone, no. I think that Punk would be a nice shot in the arm. That Punk would be a Band-Aid, but or a nice stopgap. But at the end of the day, like, you can put all the fancy window dressing on it, but if your window is busted to shit, it's going to be a shitty window regardless. If you bring Punk in and you give Heyman more control, and you kind of throw some of this fucking stupid angles, some of these stupid angles out the door, if more people start getting used right, okay, maybe people start to come back, and I think that would be a linchpin. I think that could be a turning point if WWE were to do that. But I mean, honestly, if I'm CM Punk, I think now again, I'm not Phil Brooks. I don't know his finances or his business, but I mean, 25 million is a lot of money. But that would basically, because one side of my mouth, I'm saying he's not going to be a corporate shill, but on the other side of my mouth, like if someone's paying you $25 million, like we talked about earlier, you're going to be a professional. You have to be a professional. You have to be a guy that's going to go out there and toe the company line. So, CM Punk's going to have to play ball if he wants to go that route. So, 6 one way, half a dozen the other. But to answer your question, would I subscribe immediately? Probably. But I am a larger than normal Punk mark. But realistically, the masses, probably not. It's probably going to take more than that.
Don't you think it would be more lucrative for him to go to AEW?
I think it'd be smarter. I think he'd have more fun. I think he would reinvigorate his love for the business. I don't know that Tony Khan's going to give him $25 million.
No,
I don't think they gave. I don't think they gave Chris Jericho $25 million. And at this point, I think Chris Jericho is worth more than CM Punk. To be honest,
100% worth more than CM Punk is. But I think it would be more lucrative for both CM Punk and for AEW if he went there, as opposed to it being more lucrative for CM Punk and WWE if Punk went there.
The old adage of the quarterback who's in house taking the pay cut to make the rest of the team better. If CM Punk were to take less money and go to AEW, he would have more creative freedom and have more fun and put out a better product. But and
like you were saying about his finances too, like I think at this juncture, pardon me. I think it would be more important to him to enjoy what he's doing more on a daily basis and to have more creative freedom than it would be for him to be making all the money.
Right.
I think he would go back to WWE for $25 million, partially just to stick it to him, to be like, look how I left. Look at the things that I said, which in his mind are all true, regardless of whether or not that's reality. In his mind, everything he said was true. But now, not only does WWE take him back, but they're paying him more than anybody else.
That would be a very Punk thing to do. You're right. But I think at the end of the day, he'd be back where he was in Royal Rumble 2012.
Oh,
miserable.
Very, very quick.
Laying flat in his back saying, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Fuck this. I'm out.
Very quick.
I don't know. And I think that, honestly, I'm of the belief that, and even though, we're the CM Punks are drumming up again, and it comes and it goes, man. It comes in waves. I think there was a CM Punk chant. Oh boy, at one of the most recent Raws, I don't remember exactly, but it comes and it goes, man. I think that CM Punk will always be like an anti-authority figure, like a real life Steve Austin, because he stood up to the man for his beliefs, and because of it, Daniel Bryan got a big push and got the title that he deserved so richly. So, I think that CM Punk coming back ruins that ideal, ruins that image, the vestige of Punk, as it were. So, I think the bloom is off the rose. I said it, that if Punk does not come back for All Out, I don't think he'll ever come back, and I'm kind of sticking to that gun. I don't think he'll ever come back.
Wow. All right, I'm done. I'm done interrupting the hot tag trivia with all the random tidbits.
What happened to Poot? Is Poot gone?
No, I'm here.
So, I want to ask Beef again, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah, man, that works that way. That works out great, because I was thinking about asking Poot, so all good.
All right, so I'm asking.
Do we have a Stump the Chumps?
I don't know, but we can probably hold off on that one till the full commiseration of chumps are here.
That's a good idea.
From the Mid-Card Maniac / Fantasy Football League, gentlemen.
We do. We do have that, but like I said, and plus we are giving you the overtime this week, so we're going to keep it short and hold off on the Mid-Card Maniacs question until next week, I think.
Sounds good.
All right.
By the way, happy episode 25, you idiots.
Ooh.
Oh, happy episode. Wow, we are at the quarter century mark. Holy cow.
Look out. All right, so who goes first? Beef, you started off.
Okay. Poot, short and simple.
All right.
one of my favorite events of all time was Halloween Havoc. It has a great history with a lot of really cool things. One of my favorites is the spin the wheel, make the deal match, which is a great gimmick. So, in that end, Halloween Havoc 1992 hosted the first spin the wheel, make the deal match. Tell me who the participants were and what the deal that was spun was.
Dude, honestly, I just watched Brian Zane of Wrestling with Regrets review of this the other day while I was cleaning my room.
Son of a bitch.
I did. I just watched it, and I'm not even... dude, since he's not here, I'm going to channel the spirit of Tiger Bomb Tom. No fucking clue. Can't even remember.
No.
Can't even remember. Because it was background noise. It was background noise. Like, so I wasn't
Ransom, you want to take a shot at this?
No idea.
Nah, I got nothing. I have no idea.
So, it was Sting. Sting versus Jake Roberts in a coal miner's glove match.
That's fucking garbage.
Yep, I would have had no idea.
That's so dumb.
I don't even know what the hell a coal miner's glove match is, but it sounds wonderful.
It's
terrible.
It's probably abysmal knowing WCW. Ransom, you ready? Now, this one, thought I was going to give it to B for Tom, but there is a wrestler. He is a bad, bad boy. He's Mr. Joey Janela of AEW fame. And now the bad boy is his little moniker that he goes by. But before that, he went by another name. What was Joey Janela's moniker before the bad boy?
I'm gonna do two in a row and say I have no freaking idea.
Beef?
Are you talking about a different
It's a different
gimmick name?
He's the bad boy Joey Janela. And then before that, he was blank Joey Janela. Like, I'll even give you this: blank, blank, blank Joey Janela.
I gotta think it's got something like party guy or the party man. Given his gimmick,
he's not Party Marty Skrull.
No, definitely not. But it's got to be something akin to that. Oh, did they? Because he's a fucking crazy daredevil too. I don't know. Pooh. Go ahead.
He was the body guy, Joey Janela.
The body guy.
Yeah, the body guy,
okay.
Joey Janela. But yeah, now he is a bad, bad boy. All right.
Nope, I would have had no idea.
Ransom, take him down a peg.
Beef, you idiot.
Boof.
That's me.
Name for me the last three WCW television champions.
Ho, 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 ho. The final three.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So I'm trying to think of who is in that division at the end of WCW, but I don't think it's going to serve me a purpose because I think that the booking at that point was very shitty, and people were like main eventers were getting that belt at the end. So
I think I have one.
I'm fairly certain. I think that above average Mike Sanders was in there. I'm not 100%, but I think above average Mike Sanders was in there. Lance Storm held all the belts except for the heavyweight at one point, but I don't think that was towards the end. Fuck. I will say, what the hell? Mike Sanders, so it's above average Mike Sanders, Mike Awesome, and Big Papa Pump.
You are wrong on all three counts.
I think one of them was Lance Storm.
You are also wrong.
Damn.
I'm going from 3-2 to 1. October of 99, Scott Steiner.
I called that.
I'm sorry,
I
Rick
said
Steiner,
Big Papa
not Scott
Pump.
Steiner.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Rick Steiner. November of 99, the belt went to Scott Hall.
Huh.
And then February of 2000, and I would have never in my life guessed this, the very last WCW television champion, Jim Duggan.
Wow.
Man, what a bag of
Good for
prison!
him.
What a bag of prison asses WCW was at the end.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Also,
Fuck.
Beef, tell me who had the most reigns, and how many reigns was it?
What TV title?
Yes.
Jericho, and I think
No. Jericho only had the title twice.
how the fuck do you remember obscure WCW bullshit? Like how? Like
Because I'm a
think
Chris
about
Jericho mark.
think about the fucking things that you could have solved for the world had you not known that tidbit of information.
I could actually be wrong. He could be a two-time cruiserweight champion and a one-time television champion, but either way, it's 2 and 1. But it definitely was not a good number of times because WCW botched everything, including Chris Jericho. Longest, the most reigns and how many? Booker T had the U.S. title a lot, but not the TV. Why am I thinking Steven Regal? Like,
Dean
he had the
Malenko.
television- Steve Regal had the title a lot during the early 90s. So you know what? I'm going to say Steve Regal, and I'm going to say he had 7 reigns.
Dean Malenko 8.
You are both wrong and wrong. 6 reigns was the max number. And Beef, I thought you were going to get it because you were sniffing around it. It was Booker T.
What? Oh, son of a
Wow.
bitch. Damn it.
Booker T was 6 reigns.
Wow, that's bonkers. All
That's
right.
all I got.
Well,
That's
this was
WCW.
that.
Yeah, right?
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. All right. Well,
Following
hey,
close behind
faces.
their footsteps is WWE.
Hey, faces. We're getting a little long in the tooth on this episode.
We are, but it's been a good, insightful episode with lots of good discussion. And this is why I stopped watching the weekly products, so we don't have to sit around and talk about Raw and SmackDown for fucking 87 minutes of our 120-minute podcast. So we get to have actual discussions about the world of wrestling. So it's
You
wonderful.
think it's only
It's a
120
fair point.
minutes?
ish. But
Ish.
for all of you
Yeesh.
out there who are still subscribed to the network, enjoy Crown Jewel. It may be past tense by the time you hear this, but I hope that you have enjoyed Crown Jewel and the innumerous amount of time that you will have wasted on that stupid battle royal and the U.S. title match that AJ's not going to lose, and the Lesnar Cain Velasquez match. And the Fiend versus Rollins. It's going to be a terrible show.
I cannot wait to talk about The Fiend versus Rollins on the next episode. I can't imagine we're going to have anything good to say about it.
You know what, though? Here's the thing. I honestly believe that Velasquez versus Lesnar may be a hidden gem on the show. No pun intended. I think the Velasquez versus Lesnar, because I've seen some of Velasquez's stuff in AAA, he's not terrible. So I think with Lesnar being a veteran, and I think with the hype that they have with the match, I think they may do okay. That is Beef's bold prediction. That I think that match may steal the show.
Wow. Oh, my.
But regardless, enjoy it, or hope you have enjoyed it. Anybody have anything else to add? IWC Saturday, the 2nd. Go get your tickets now. Go get them at the door. Participate in the era of Argos, and go Jackson, go RC, go Team Storm.
There you go. Agreed.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
No, I don't either, man. Hours getting long.
Well, fair enough. Everybody, thank you for listening. For our reigning Cruiserweight champion, who will probably hold the record for, well, let's face it, most and longest reigns. If we ever do a Stump the Chumps or a Hot Tag Trivia over the Cruiserweight Championship, that's going to be an easy one. That's our champion, Poot the Bard.
For life. baby.
Our reigning Sultan Supreme. Our Arabian beef.
Arabian beef.
or is that Mongolian beef?
Only cured with some.
beef.
Okay, go on.
Good enough. And for me, the ever stupid.
Salty.
Yeah, this has been the worst sign off ever. Good night.
Motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.